Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that the other day was playing Scrabble in the back of his car and decided to throw all the letters out of the window. You know, I wanted to put the word out on the street. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Dark Judges, the expansion for Judge Dredd, Helter, Skelter from Osprey Games. I reviewed Judge Dredd, Helter, Skelter a while back. It was a great skirmish game that I enjoyed very much. Well, the Dark Judges expansion kind of brings some new things to the table, including the new faction, the Dark Judges, who are these evil judges, and they go ahead and they fight the good guys as a new faction. Of course, you've got already 4 factions for the game. This introduces a 5th. Judge Death, you've got Judge Fear, you've got Judge Mortis, and you've got Judge Fire. Where the other factions have 5 characters, the Dark Judges just have 4, but that's because they have a special advantage. They have a shield, they have armor, and essentially it's on a green side, meaning you have to penetrate their shield, then it flips over to the red side, meaning they're vulnerable. Then you can start hitting them for their at their health points, but as soon as your turn is over, they flip back over to the green side. So everybody who attacks them has to hit them once just to make them vulnerable before they can really start targeting their health. Now, this expansion also boasts a solo mode. Essentially, what you do here is you pick a faction that you want to play, and then you get the Dark faction. You put out your fragments on the board according to the map cards, and then you also put out the various baddies on the board according to the map cards, and then you put out your own guys on the board according to map cards. So you don't have the deploy action in this game. You already start with all your guys out on the board. Now, you also take a number of fragments of another color from a faction you're not playing with, and you put them next to the Dark Judges. They don't go out on the board. Now, how this game works is you're trying to score 6 victory points. You do that in a couple of ways, either by killing the judges, which double the amount of shards that you have, or just by collecting the shards themselves. So you play the game more or less as you did in the multiplayer game. But here what you do is on your turn, you can go ahead and attack one of the Dark Judges. Now again, you got to pass it through its armor, so you got to make it vulnerable and hit it again, which means you got to hit it at least twice if you expect to do any damage. But you go ahead, you play the card to hit, and then you reveal one of the solo cards from the Dark Judge game if there is the symbol on it of, deflect, be it deflect melee or deflect bullets, or deflect from cover, then that card and that attack is negated. It doesn't have any effect. So you can go through there and you can try to hit them in that way by drawing their card to see whether or not they withstand it, whether it deflects, or whether they have to take the damage. Now, on the Dark Judge's turn, essentially you're going to draw one of their cards, and it's got the kind of order in which they move, but you're going to see what exactly they're going to do that day. If they move, they're going to move in the shortest possible line toward the nearest judge, the nearest member that you're playing. If there's a difference, they're going to move toward, I believe, the lowest number judge, the lowest number space on that judge, if I recall correctly. But then they may, of course, attack, they may shoot, they may hit, they may do other things that, of course, you can do on your cards as well. And then you have to play the appropriate cards to try to deflect, to try to defend against their attacks. Some of the cards also have special abilities. For instance, Judge Mortis, if you begin your turn in a space with Judge Mortis, then you have to discard a card in order to avoid taking a hit. Otherwise, he will automatically inflict damage on you. Now, as I say, you get your points by collecting shards. Each shard is worth 1 point. You're playing to 6 points or killing all of the evil judges. So you can gain a point by collecting a shard, or if you kill a judge, you can double the number of shards you have, so it doesn't really help if you don't have any shards to kill a judge, at least right off the bat. You want to gain at least 1 shard so that you can double the number of shards you have and move toward victory. As soon as you have 6 points worth of shards, then you win the solo version of Dark Judges expansion for Judge Dredd, Helter, Skelter. So, as I say, I really enjoyed the base game here. I thought it was a lot of fun. I haven't played with the Dark Judges in a multiplayer game because of the pandemic, but I have played the solo game. And I got to tell you, I really like it because there is no solo game without the Dark Judges. There's not a solo game with the core set. So I really like the solo game this creates and that it offers. The judges are hard to take down because, again, you've got to make sure you got at least 2 shots if you're even going to hope to do any damage. Otherwise, you're just going to get past their vulnerability shield, which goes back to normal as soon as the turn is over. So it's very important you take those shots and you take those guys down as much as you can. But again, the real good part of this game, the real tough part of this game, is the decision of how to use those cards. Do you use them for attack, multiple attacks? Do you use them, of course, to move? Do you use them to defend? And your cards are your resource, and you're always low. It seems like you always need more cards than you got. And that's kind of what makes this game fun and challenging and tough. It's filled with those tough decisions. How do you play the cards? And do you risk it going after these Dark Judges because you just don't know if you're going to get past their shield? You just don't know. But this is a fun expansion. I really like the base game, and I really like the solo version here. I imagine the multiplayer game with the Dark Judges would be a lot of fun too, but I really like what they've done with this solo variant. It's a very fun game. Recommendation for the discriminating gamer for the Dark Judges expansion is buy it. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, as I was being born, my mother called out, couldn't, wouldn't, shouldn't. The doctor says, don't worry, she's just having contractions.